Alright, yeah, I noticed you asked me about DG and Eve, yeah, before I get into that situation, let me, tell you how I know DG and shit, you know what I mean? When I first got to Dallas a couple years ago and shit, hustling, whatever, I met DG, you know what I mean? I used to supply DG, you know what I mean? Used to give him work, and DG would take it back, to the Carolinas, flip that shit, he'd go to St. Louis, flip that shit like, I get that nigga work, that nigga flip that shit like spatulas, you know what I'm saying? Like, that motherfucker flip that work like motherfucker, you ever be in the motherfucking Chinese or Japanese restaurants where the nigga be cooking and flipping the food in the air and all, yeah, that's how motherfucking DJ used to get that work off, man. He'd bring back what he owe, plus interest, you know what I mean? So I really fuck with my nigga DG, you know what I mean? That don't go against the general, you know what I'm saying? So, I knew him since he been running from his first charge, you know what I mean? That first charge that he had, you know what I mean? I knew him since then, you know what I mean? So I knew about him and, his ex, you know what I mean? The chick YouTube cameras or whatever. And then, his current lady Eve, you know what I mean? I go way back with, but, yeah, I just remember, I know he has a lot of love for Eve, you know what I'm saying? Like, he will always tell me, problems that they going through, shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And, I remember the first incident, you know what I mean, where you remember that incident where, Big Baby called the police, she, dispatched the police to their house, and Eve was grabbing his hand on camera and shit. Yeah, I was around for that. Before this last incident, man, 'cause I've been around DG since he was beefing with Mejia, you know what I'm saying? I remember him and Mejia would go to war, and I would always try to squash it, you know what I mean? But, them niggas beef ran deep, in these streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I was cool with DG and I was cool with Mejia, you know what I mean? Like, I was supplying both, you know what I'm saying? Mejia was always late with the money. He always paid what he owed, but he was always late, you know what I'm saying? That's my nigga, though. He doing big things now. You know what I mean? He's big time vlogger, online doing this thing, turned his life around. Salute to him. But, yeah, I've been around since since he was beefing with my nigga General, you know what I mean? But I was there that day. Now, what happened earlier that day, right? Nigga DG hit me up, you know what I mean? 'Cause I usually hit him up when I'm in town or whatever. So I was in his town, hit him up and shit. And I remember early that day, we went to a bar and shit. You know what I mean? Talking, he drinking, what he drink, I'm drinking juice and shit 'cause I don't drink liquor. He told me, he was just telling me about the problems him and E was having and how they was, going back and forth and beefing and how he was just, tired of everything, 'cause every time they get into an argument, Eve will hold over his head that, oh yeah, if you don't do this or if you do this, I call the police and let them know about your warrant from me, And, I could tell he was just getting tired of that, like, constantly having to worry about if the law is going to catch up with him, fighting with his lady, you know what I mean, missing his kids, all kinds of shit. So, we talking and shit. And I know he was supposed to, pick her up so they can go out. But, we lost track of time because not only we was conducting business, but, we was sitting at the bar talking. So he said, he looked at the time, he's like, oh, fuck, you like, yo, Tony, can you drive me over to E spot? So I drove him over to E spot, but I could tell my nigga, but just going through it, like, he just had, like, this worried look on his face, man, and he would just, he just didn't seem like himself that day, you know what I'm saying? So we drive over to E spot. He told me, yo, he was like, just chill right here, you gonna go in there and, see what the temperature is, you know what I mean? So I'm chilling in the car and shit. I parked the car up. He goes inside, I guess to go see Eve or whatever. I want to say like 10 minutes later, I'm hearing bickering, arguing, a little fussing, fighting. I ain't think much of it. So, I pulled up, parked the car, parked the car, got out, walked up closer to the house so I could hear what's going on. They arguing. I'm hearing glass breaking and I'm hearing screaming like, what the fuck? DG called me on my phone. He like, yo, Tony, come upstairs. He was like, yo, this girl, he was like, yo, this chick, she tripping. So, I go in the house, the door was unlocked. I go in the house, I went upstairs. And, they tussling and they both tussling with a gun. I'm like, what the fuck? So when I went to go step to break it up, I know as I was stepping on something, I'm like, what the fuck? I looked down, there's a whole bunch of bullets on the floor, but that didn't dawn on me till later on where, niggas, when the report came out, that he dumped the bullets on the floor because he was doing Russian roulette or some shit. The bullets is on the floor, so I'm stepping, I stepped on the bullets, I'm like, what the fuck? So they tussling with the gun, so I'm getting in the middle of them, trying to stop them from fighting. Eve is trying to sling over me, trying to hit this nigga. She got the other hand holding his dreads. So I'm trying to get her hand off his dreads, plus get the gun, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if it's a bullet in it, even though the bullet is on the floor. I don't know if this gun is loaded, so I'm holding on to the gun. Like, no disrespect to DG. I'm like, fuck you here right now. Let me hold on to this gun. What the fuck y'all niggas doing? So they tussling. I'm trying to break them up. Somehow, I get them apart. Eve goes running down the set. She takes off running and screaming. I'm holding DG. I'm like, yo, chill, man. He was like, nah, fuck that. So me and him tussling, you know what I mean? He pushed me to the side. I go to grab his shirt, but I couldn't get to his shirt. I missed. I couldn't grab his shirt. I'm like, fuck. So he running downstairs behind her. So I'm chasing behind DG. He chasing behind Eve. So all three of us outside. They start tussling again. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Something with the gun again. You know what I mean? Cause I got the gun from DG, then he got it back from me. And then, it just is a lot going on. So now they tussling outside, And it's a good thing I didn't get caught on the ring cam, because the ring cam was on, but I didn't get caught on camera on the ring cam. So I'm trying to break them up again. They tussling and fighting. E starts screaming to the neighbors. She starts screaming, help, help, help. I'm like, what the fuck? She's screaming help. So one of the neighbors came out. She was like, yo, help, call 911 and call 911. So I seen the neighbor start dialing on his phone. I was like, oh fuck. So I'm like, come on, DG. So I run into the car. DG ain't calling me. He's still tussling with this chick. I'm like, what the So I run to the car. I start the car. I pull the car out. I pull the car to the house. Reverse. Cause I parked up a little bit, but so I reversed it. I'm like, DG, come on. They still tussling, even DG tussling. I'm like, come on, man, what are you doing? And the look DG gave me, I already knew, like he just had this look like, yo, I'm tired of running, like, you know what I mean? I'm tired of running, from my past. I'm tired of, dealing with this shit. It was like, fuck. And I'm like, it kind of like reminded me, remember the end of Juice with Tupac and Q? With Tupac and Omar Epps was on the roof, and Tupac was like, man, kind of like just had a fuck it. So he just had this look like, nah, I ain't running, and I'm like, fuck. So I could hear the sirens coming. So I'm like, shit. So I had to pull off. So I pulled off. So I'm pulled off. As I pull off, I'm looking in the rearview mirror. I see the cops coming. But I'm driving. They stop at Eve house, get out, guns drawn. They make him get on the floor. I sure thought, the nigga DG was on your pop, because they was tussling over a gun. But I ain't hear no shots. I kept driving. I'm like, fuck. So I kept driving. I bend the corner. Boom. Bend the corner, park up. Because I always got extra clothes in my motherfucking, in my trunk. I pop the trunk. Go in my trunk. Take my t-shirt off. Put a sweatshirt on. And, for some reason, I never cleaned out my trunk, because I've had, extra fucking masks since COVID, because, COVID, how to have a mask, so I used to keep a pack of masks in my trunk, you know what I mean, because I got tired of going to the bank or to the motherfucking store, and they be like, yo, you need a mask, so I saw that I had COVID masks still, brand new in my fucking trunk, so I took one of the COVID masks, put them on, and then I walked back to the block so I could see what was going on. So, I'm standing with the crowd with the fucking COVID mask on and the sweatshirt, and I'm looking. I see they got motherfucking DG handcuffed on the ground. I see Eve, she talking to the other cop telling her story. I'm just standing with the crowd, you know what I mean? They didn't notice it was me, you know what I mean? Because I done changed my sweatshirt, and I got the COVID mask on. Boom. So I'm just standing there watching, you know what I mean? They picked DG up, put him in the back of the car. And then they got Eve's statement, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when the cops got in the car, both of them, and they drove off. And as they drove off, DG looks into the crowd. He must have noticed me because we locked eyes. He must have noticed me. And then, you know, like I gave him the head nod like it's gonna be alright, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I watched Eve go in the house. And then, you know, I went around the corner, got back in the car. Joe, you know, got the fuck up out of there. But, you know, that shit was crazy, man. That was a crazy ass day, you know what I mean, with Eve and motherfucking DG, man. But, you know, he really do love that girl, man. It's just unfortunate that sometimes, you know, the best love can be toxic, you know what I mean? Kind of like how Bobby and Whitney and motherfucking Tina and Ike, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, it just ain't meant to be, even though you might love each other, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to DG, man. I know 88 talked to him recently, you know, on the phone. He said he gonna take responsibility for everything. But yeah, man, shout out to DG, man. You know, the general, free DG, man, down on Goins, man. But you know, that's my nigga. But yeah, you know, shout out to Eve too. But you know, I'm gonna leave that situation alone. You know, hopefully he can get through the situation, man. You know, and it's crazy. He locked down, I'm locked down, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?